If you would like to live with a little bit more intention and a lot more ease, then today's video is for you. I am going to show you how I plan my months in advance and then actually do the things I plan to do and then check them back and actually reflect on them at the end of that period. If you are somebody who likes to fly by the seat of your pants as just a general rule of life and it's not working out for you, then stick around because you are in great company. My name is Karen McGill. I am an ADHD performance coach and I help busy, ambitious brains get snizzle done. And that's exactly what we're going to do today in my Notion software. But before we jump in, I want to tell you what you need to have so that we can do this process together. You're going to want your calendars, whether they're electronic or paper. You're going to want a productivity system, whether that's digital or paper, and just like a scratch pad or something that you can actually brain dump on. Now, this video is going to be particularly useful for you if, like me, you have or aspire to have a small business, because there's certain things you want to think about when you're planning your mouth? There's certain things you want to think about when you're planning your month that is going to move your business forward, as well as your personal life and your professional life. So on that note, let's jump into my Notion software and we will get started. Okay, so we're going to head to my habit tracker and journal section. And here you see monthly. These are all of my monthly reviews. I started doing this in January and we are now at May. So I just started this new template and I'm going to click it open. And I have been noodling with this template since the beginning of the year, so it continues to get refined. But I find that the more I can personalize it to what works best for me, the more I enjoy it. So take that piece of advice as you start through your own process. So I start with a few things at the top of the month, which is just a review of what's essential, what do I really want to focus on, what my word of the month is, how I feel coming into the month. And then these are things I will reflect on at the end of the month. But then the other things that I will look at the end of the month are my numbers that I like to keep an eye on, just to make sure that my growth trajectory is going the way I want it to. And then there's just a few other properties in here that I just like to track on a month-to-month basis. But underneath all of these toggles are where the real magic belongs. So under business reflections, because I am an entrepreneur, I like to just journal a few things around, what actions brought in new clients this month or new sponsors, and did I achieve my goals from last month? Because I'm going to do a complete review of what did I set my sights on for April, and if I didn't achieve my goals, why or why not? And then I'll look through what my highest ranking videos and podcasts and IG posts and those sort of things, because those things really tell me what my audience is interested in. So the more I can align what I'm doing and what I'm interested in into what my audience wants, the faster my business is going to grow. So this is a prompt because I would never remember to do this if I didn't do it on a monthly basis. And also just thinking to myself, what did I like doing this month, and what do I not like doing this month? Because those are always good things to understand from an energy management system process, I should say. And then I do personal reflections. What are my highlights, low points of the month? How's my energy? What drained me? What lit me up? What I learned. I also like to journal about, who do I spend time with this month? Who do I want to spend more time with? What connections do I want to make? I actually have a cheat sheet for planning your whole month, and I'm going to link that below in the description, so go grab that. It's not going to be this specific template, but you can use that cheat sheet to integrate this into whatever system you like to use. Once I've got those things done, I have two databases that I record my misses and my wins. So if something didn't turn out the way I wanted it to, it gets logged in there with some reflection. And if something happens, that's great. Something I won, or not won, but something that I accomplished or achieved, that goes into that database. I find that those databases are really helpful when I'm looking at my year-end reflection, but they're also just helpful to reflect on every single month. Underneath this toggle here is my revenue goals and my targets and actuals. So this is a reflection of what was my expected income for the month, and that's relevant to you whether you're a W-2, or I should say a full-time employee, or you're an entrepreneur, you probably have, expectations of how much money you're bringing in, what you're spending. I track my spending in Mint for personal and business expenses, but I do my subscription tracking for my business in Mint. So all of that stuff is in there, and it's obviously so important to look at where is your revenue going, what is your profit margins, and what do you need to adjust in your business to make sure that you're in the black. And once I've done all of those reviews, then it's time to set my goal for the following month. So in this revenue tab, I have a reflection of the previous month and my goals for this month. So that's all in there. And then as I start to think about my goals for this month, these are three different databases, and I'll explain to you how I use them. So under this, I set my monthly goals, and I like setting monthly goals because I find them a lot easier to operationalize than an annual goal or quarterly goal. So I do set those, but when I'm thinking about planning, it's always at the monthly goal level. So let's say, for example, I wanted to set a goal this month of starting a process around bringing guests onto the podcast, because so far it's only been a solo show. And there's a whole thought process around that, right? Like, how are you going to find your guests? How are you going to onboard them? How are you going to make sure that, you get your calendar synced, and what questions you're going to ask, and how you're going to promote it? All of these various different steps. So to me, that's not just a goal, it's also a project, because within that, there's a million different things that I need to do. So I was thinking about this already, and I started a new project for this podcast process. And then underneath that, I have my project template. So why do I want to do this project? What are some quick notes that I want to think about or brainstorm before I get into operationalizing the project? And then once I've kind of brainstormed all the various different steps, then I'll actually plug them into my task database. So this is my master task list, which shows up all over my Notion, but I can add it from everywhere, and I sync the project to the action. So everything is interrelated. And then when I go to look at what are my tasks for any given day, when I sit down to start my workday, the tasks for that particular day, given this project, will show up in that list. So it just takes all of the thinking and puts it into databases, which I absolutely love. And I never thought I would be somebody who says they love a database. So that's how I break my goals into whoops, I just clicked myself out of that. That's how I break my goals into projects. And then once I got my projects together, then I'm building out the tasks in those projects. Or, like I said, that's a master database. Here it is again. So if I have like one-off things that I want to do this month, I can just punch them right in here. They don't need to be associated with a project. And I just basically brain dump everything I need to get done on a piece of paper before I come into here, because it's just helpful for me, and my brain thinks quicker when I'm actually writing things out. So I will then take my brain dump and apply it to my master task list. And then my planning for the month is done. And now my plans are aligned to my goals, which are aligned and are moving forward as a result of everything I did in the last month. And having it all externally templated in here is super helpful for my brain, because there's no way I would remember to do all this if it wasn't an actual template. And again, I will have the quick sheet in the description below if you want to use that to build your own templates. So from there, I would then go into my Gmail account, my Google Calendar, and start plotting out work times. I would look at my task list based on day, and I would start blocking out work hours throughout the month and put in any sort of events or commitments that I already have. I think that's pretty self-explanatory, so you probably don't need to see that here. And that is how I plan my month. So that is my planning process in a nutshell, and it's amazing how much it has actually helped me think about my goals in advance and actually follow through with them. It's really quite amazing. So if this was a helpful video for you, drop a comment below, let me know. And if you want to do more of like a plan with me session where we actually like break everything down and go through it together, maybe I will do a live, but only if that's something that's useful for you. So please let me know, and also hit subscribe, hit like, do all those things, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. Happy planning.